Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Morning with Bliss. It is Saturday, and I'm so glad to be here. Can I say that? Can I say that I'm so glad to be here? Because as I was preparing myself, washing myself clean, getting off how I feel of the situation and being guided towards what Yahweh want me to do in the situation, right? And the song came on Best in Me. He Saw the Best in Me by Marvin Sapp. And it just really had me thinking back to the beginning of when I met Yahweh, not when someone told me about Yahweh, but when me personally, met Yahweh, and that relationship of how we started bonding, right? So, the Bible card that I decided to choose for today, I let find me because I just grabbed a random card, right? And I just pray and hope that it goes with our message for today. So it comes from Deuteronomy 31:8. Therefore, accept each other just as Christ has accepted you, so that God will be given glory. That's it. It is always going to align. And again, I just grabbed a random Bible card, and I am showing you today the daily Bible. Let's go back. Daily writing prompts to the Lord. If you are new here, let me, because I'm going to get started, child, in my teaching, because I have a lot to say in this moment. So, on Saturday, we go and we reflect on our question that we had for Wednesday. So, if you haven't watched the question, that's day 2, Daily Writing Prompts to the Lord. This is a book that I work with Yahweh with, is saying, hey, I need for you to go out and I need for you to make disciples. Well, when I bring these disciples to you, how do I get them to get to know you? Because I can't tell them, I can tell them my experience, but they need to have their own experience in order to walk their path in their life. So daily writing prompts to the Lord helps and guides you and asks you those questions that you may never even thought of. So this book helps, plant seeds and help you jot down in that moment of what that question is asking you. So this is day 2, and I want to answer the question, just to give people a little bit more idea of, there's no right or wrong answer, but how deep it can get, how deep it can go. So let me tell you about my relationship with Yahweh so we can accept each other with where we are in this moment. So if you would like to grab that book, it's going to be a link down below. Go through the book list. Daily Writing Prompts to the Lord. I give you the whole book list simply because you may resonate with something else along your journey on my book list, okay? So, day 2, the question is, why do I believe these things I think about God? So, growing up for me, this is what my parents taught me. But when I went to the Lord and when I found him, because that's where I want to start at for me. Because I can tell you about my childhood and how I grew up. I can tell you that. Or that book list that I send you to Daily Writing Prompts to the Lord, I have books on there letting you know exactly everything I went through in my life. But my relationship when it came to Yahweh, where I felt like there was no one else around me. This is how I believe. This is how I just knew. Because when there was nothing but darkness surrounding me, he showed his light. When I was crying down and out, he showed his light. What do you believe? You can believe something that someone told you, but how did he reveal himself to you? In what moment? How did you feel? Did you start that relationship? Did you say, I'm not ready right now? And it came back full circle and he's knocking at your door again and he's asking you, are you ready? Well, in that moment when I seen that light and started, it's just as a baby crawling, falling down, getting back up, crawling again, falling down, getting back up, stumbling down a little bit because they get up a little bit, they finding their footing, but they still can't get it just yet. Same thing with Yahweh. You fall down a little bit and you get back up. And you fall down and then you get back up. Finding your footing, trying to, this is the relationship of you building and you're trusting and you're walking. And have anyone ever said of them having a relationship like that? Where truly someone is there and they're holding your hand and they see you going through it, and sometimes it's just the mental attacks. Just the mental attacks. Well, what in your life have shown you that this is what I believe about Yahweh? We can even start with, is that the name that he wants you to call him? How can you start identifying what you believe for your life? I started identifying what I believe when all I saw was him in a dark space. It's not about what I grew up learning, because my parents, and they don't believe half the stuff I believe. They tell me I'm weird, but I just trust Yahweh. Yahweh told me this. Some folks don't even like that. Well, who am I supposed to say told me if Yahweh told me? So, I'm speaking at a place where this is my relationship now. I am guided. I am led. No one can't come to me and change my viewpoint of how I see the Creator. No one can't come in and debate me on what I believe, because I stand firm in what I believe. I stand firm in my identity of I trust Yahweh. I listen to Yahweh. I can tell you what he guides me to tell you. And only you can be guided in what he tells you. No one else can't come in and say, this is how you have a perfect life. If Yahweh say, well, we didn't even want you to go down that path in the first place. Who are you listening to? Who are you believing? Someone else can just come in and change your whole identity of what you believe? Your perspective? What do you believe? They tell you to read the Bible, but when you really understand that just reading the Bible doesn't help you understand the Bible. The Bible is a tool. It's not a book to remember. Does that make sense? It's a tool to use along your path, just as I'm doing. I said I picked up a random Bible card. Guide me on this message that you need for me to have today. Therefore, accept each other just as Christ has accepted you, so that God will be given glory. And that's what we're doing. Ain't this what we're doing? We can go back to day 2, the Bible verse for day 2. I couldn't get that out. And without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. You have to believe. You have to accept. You have to know. You can't allow someone else to come in, change your mind, tell you, if, say you got this friend, right? And can't nobody tell you about your friend because you know your friend better than anybody else know their friend, right? So if somebody say some messed up stuff about your friend that ain't even true, you gonna know off bat that it ain't true, and it's not going to change how you view your friend, because you know your friend identity. You know who that person is. And can't nobody come in and change. The same thing with Yahweh. How can someone come in and tell you something different or make you think twice about Yahweh if he have shown you who he is? What do you believe, and why do you believe those things? Second guess what someone else told you. Is this true? Do I really believe it? How this sound for real? Have Yahweh showed me this? And if it's a question for Yahweh, because you still building up trust, right? You still building up trust. Can you show me? Can you show me, Yahweh? Ask him to show you something. Yahweh, can you show me, like, what you need me to do? Or, show me a sign that you really here. Like, can I really trust you? Like, talk to Yahweh. Because if you continue to go off of what someone else tells you about Yahweh, how can you really know him for yourself? How can you stand 10 toes down if you don't even know him for yourself? You going off of, you just following the crowd. You just doing what everybody else doing. Not even knowing if they really serving the right God, right? Because who is y'all talking to? Who y'all talking to up there? God. What God? What's his name? Have anybody ever realized they teach you in school the book with the goddesses and gods and stuff, and ain't nobody just said, you know what? There are different gods. So what God are we calling on? Just like those different gods have names, and nobody said, well, what's our God name? Nobody. We just continue to go on with the flow of saying God, and no one is teaching what our God name is. So what God are you speaking upon? And I didn't even know that until someone asked me, well, what God are you talking about? God. What you mean, what God? Yes, what God are you talking about? And why do you believe these things about that God? I love that I'm doing this, because I can explain, the daily writing prompts in my own words, and people can see like, oh, you really serious about this? Yes. Like, have you ever just stopped and asked and second guess and just really wonder why you think what you think, and how other people really just have an influence on what you believe, and then you just say, you know what? I just took that And I just ran with it, and I didn't even really question it. And you know what? I really don't believe that. Or I really don't feel like this apply to me in my life. Yeah. No one say that. No one say that. I just grew up listening to other people. Yeah, or I just really stopped listening because I didn't understand what they was talking about. And it just sounded crazy. This is how people just keep on getting drawn away from, Yahweh, or the creator of what he want you guys to call him in your moment. Just not really having a good understanding. Like, I stopped going to church like that, not having a good understanding, and no one not really answering my questions, and everybody looking at me crazy. And then I realized, you're teaching me about a book. You're not teaching me about a Yahweh. You're not teaching me how to form a relationship. You're teaching me how to worship a book. We can know all these verses. We can know all these verses in this Bible. But don't nobody know how to apply it to their life? Don't nobody know how to translate that and say, this is what it means for my life? How can I get out of this situation in my life? How I just grabbed a random Bible card that goes with the message? No one, because everything is aligned with what you need in that moment. Because that's how Yahweh works. He's always helping us. Holding your hand. I'm just here to give you a different perspective of where I am in my life with my Yahweh. Because I want to show you, like, this is how you're building a relationship. We're not worshiping a book. I can know different parts of the Bible, but when you get all down to the nitty bitty and talking about the Bible verses and the numbers and all that, no, I remember what happened. And I remember how it made me feel. And I remember what I was going through in my life and how it resonated with me in that moment. That's what I believe. Everybody look at it differently. Everybody go through life differently. Everybody handle things differently. What do you believe? How do you handle what it is that you believe? If Yahweh is not the name he want you to call him, that's okay. That's okay. It's okay. He has many names. And those many names are attached to many different things. That's okay. What do you believe? Why do you believe these things? Are you willing to change what you believe? Are you willing to set a firm foundation in what you believe? And if you are going to a church that you don't believe what they believe, find a different environment. It's okay. So they are guiding and teaching you what it is that you need to know. It's okay. It's okay to want to know more. It's okay to have these questions. It's okay to ask why. You know how much time I ask Yahweh, well, why did it happen? Can you show me? And sometimes he can tell me what happened, but sometimes it's better for him to show me instead of him telling me. So that's very important too, because actions can speak louder than words. Just as I could have just published this book and left it alone, or I could have came on camera and started explaining the way that I view and how I wrote this book to help others. I pray y'all going out there and get this book now. Daily writing prompts to the Lord. This is day 2. Why do I believe these things I think about God? Why do you believe what you believe that you think about God in this moment? And how can you change it? How can you improve it? And how can you grow? I pray you have an amazing day now. Go and click that link down below and let's get closer to Yahweh. All right, y'all.